Hey, what's up guys? I'm Tommy and welcome to another episode of TomyTek Outdoors. Today I'm going to show you part 2 of my previous video where I showed you the components of a Trotline and the cost to set everything up. So stay tuned. So if you're new to my channel and you like fishing, crabbing, kayaking, boating, or spending quality time with family and friends outdoors, consider subscribing to my channel by clicking that red subscribe button below and click that notification bell so you know when I upload a new video. So if you haven't already, check out part 1 of this video in the link above. It'll show you the other components that you need to set up a Trotline as well as the cost. But let's go ahead and show you the rest of the components of a Trotline. So that's pretty much it for just the main Trotline components, but I also did want to include some other costs that come with crabbing, because you're going to need some accessories to handle the crabs and also hold the crabs. So like one of them right here is this bushel basket. You can find these at a lot of the local tackle shops, but you can also buy crabs, and a lot of the crab trucks will actually give you a bushel basket when you buy a bushel of crabs. So you can get it that way, or just go to a local tackle shop and buy it from there. So I found one that has pricing online, and for a wood bushel basket you're looking at $10, which is actually kind of high, but I would suggest to go shopping for that. So if you need, you'll need probably at least 2 of these, so that'd be 20 bucks for the bushel baskets. So the other part that you'll need for crabbing, so you can handle the crabs, are a good set of crab gloves. These are just heavy duty gloves, so when you deal with the crabs, when they pinch you, it doesn't hurt you. You can still feel the pressure, and it can hurt a little bit depending on how big the crab is, but it's not as bad as if they were to pinch you on your bare skin. I also like to use a pair of plastic tongs here, and the cost of the plastic tongs is $14.50. Again, I found these online. And then the cost of a pair of crab gloves is $12. Another accessory you'll need is something to measure your crabs with. So this here is called the Crabinator Pro. It has the different lengths that are cut out. So all you have to do is make sure the crab is, between this point, or the points are between or over these different lengths. So the Crabinator I found online is about $20. But you can use really anything to measure, but I just like this because it's already, measured out for you, and you have a nice handle that you can hold and then put the crabs against. So that's the Crabinator. So to store your Trotline, you're gonna need some kind of container. What I've been using in my kayak is just a 5-gallon bucket, and I'll put a lid on top to keep the smell in, because it can be a little bit smelly once you've baited your line. I was able to, before on one of my older lines with number 4 Loctite and snoods, I was able to hold 1,200 feet in a 5-gallon bucket, no problem. This is number 5 Loctite, so I'm not sure if 1,200 feet will go in there. But I will let you know when I finished making this line. So the good thing with having a 5-gallon bucket is once you've actually deployed your line and everything, you can use them to call the crabs, or you can store things like your chains, your measure, the Crabinator, your tongs, and things like that. But for the purpose of this video, I included in the pricing 2 5-gallon buckets with 2 lids, just in case it doesn't fit, and sometimes it's good to have an extra bucket so you can do some extra calling and things like that. So the cost of 2 5-gallon buckets with lids that I got online is $8.97 for 2 of those. So that's the cost for just the buckets and the lids. So another crucial piece of a Trotline, or running a Trotline, is your crabbing net. This is a wire net. I prefer these because it's easier to dump your crabs when you scoop them. And this has the aluminum handle on it. It's much lighter than if the ones with the wooden handles. And I have a piece of pool noodle here, just so if it gets dropped, it can float and I can recover it. So the cost of an aluminum handle wire mesh net is, online I found it for $21. And I will actually make another video showing you my net, because I do have this rigged a little bit different, or I modified it just so it makes it easier to run snood. So look for that in a future video. So another very important piece of running a Trotline is your Propstick. This is actually what you use to run your line. You actually put your Trotline over the Propstick, drive your boat forward, and that's what actually pulls your line up so you can scoop crabs. But you can see in my Propstick, it's kind of fancy. I've got built-in rod holders here, but I'm gonna actually price this out without the rod holders and without the unions. I will actually be making another video where I show you how to make one of these. I actually want to make another one. This is actually made of 1 1/4 inch PVC pipe. I actually want to make one out of 1 1/2 inch, just so it's a little bit thicker, because the rod holders don't fit too well in my kayak. But you can actually use a similar design for a boat, except you wouldn't have this whole this long piece right here. But I'm just gonna price it out without the rod holders or without the unions, just coming straight across. You'd use pretty much the same material to make a Propstick for a boat too. So, but I priced out everything, and the cost of everything costs about 25 bucks, but I'll have a link in the description below to give you an idea of where to get it, and then also I'll have all the different pieces listed as well. So that is the cost of the Propstick. So that's pretty much everything you need to set up a Trotline. I'm gonna give you the totals now, but I'll be giving you 2 different totals. One will be for 600 feet of line, as if I were gonna be running it in my kayak. And then I'll also give you a total for 1,200 feet of line, which is what I would typically run when I use my boat. So the total price for running it from a kayak at 600 feet is $303.52. And then if you were to run 1,200 feet as if you were going to be running it in a boat, that would be $368.52. So the price difference is only about 65 bucks, which is not too bad, but you have to consider the level of effort of running 600 versus 1,200 is, you know, there's more snoods to bait and unbait, and as well it takes a little bit longer to run your line and deploy your line. So if you did run 1,200 feet from your kayak, you could do that by all means. But just for me, I would prefer to just run 600 feet because it is quite a bit of work for the type of boat you'll be using, which is a kayak. So those are the total costs of everything. And again, this is all just estimated costs of things that I were able to grab online. So just keep that in mind. So your costs may vary depending on where you buy your materials. So those are the prices for an initial Trotline setup. And if you have any questions or comments about my Trotline setup, comment in the comment section below. So if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. and click that notification bell so you know when I upload a new video. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.